What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Real Estate Virgins podcast, where in 2023 and beyond, we are here to share stories of success, interview top producing agents, and help take your business to new heights. Welcome back. If you're a returning listener, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for seeing the value. If you're new here, exactly what we just said is we're here to provide value and help you take off in your business. This isn't just for new agents, but I think those are who are really going to benefit from hearing this. Our goal is to take you from point A to point Z in as little amount of time as possible. And if that sounds like something you're interested in, you are in the right place. Welcome back. My name is Jordan Brown at Jordan Sells ATX on Instagram. Here with my co-host, John Michael Perez. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, guys? Yeah, super excited about this episode. We've been getting a lot of agents messaging us. We are extremely thankful. It lets us know that everything we're doing is worth it. And my name is John Michael Perez, at John Michael Perez on Instagram. Go follow both of us, please.
We love seeing it, and we'll follow you back. We like seeing your success as well. So, really exciting time. We just had a really big episode last one.
I know. One of the most people listened in. That's
one of the most listened to ones that we've had since. I think it's just because we're excited, man. Like, we're excited for the changes that are going on in our career, in this new season of real estate that we're getting into. And it's because we have the opportunity to provide even more value on a deeper, more intimate level than ever before. And we're just super excited that we get to share that. Power Hour?
The amount of, Power Hour was awesome, right?
Yep.
15 agents, man. Hey, every Monday at 11 a.m. Central.
I was happy we got 15. Those are rookie numbers. Let's bump that shit up, baby. If you're listening right now, this upcoming Monday, 11 a.m. on Monday, hit us up for the link if you need it. We are, again, just pouring more value into this. You're going to hear topics discussed there first before on the podcast. There's going to be exclusive stuff talked about on there. It's an opportunity to get to pick our brains on a personal level, if time allows. That may not happen every single time, especially as we keep growing. But if you're in early, you get a really exclusive opportunity to kind of get a little more one-on-one with us in a sense.
Yeah, and we're giving away gifts every so often. So
for your business
too. They're free gifts. Like, it's pretty awesome. That community, I mean, this whole community is really changing people's lives, and I love seeing it.
Like, what's an excuse not to join Power Hour? You watching The Price is Right? TiVo that stuff, man. Hop on Power Hour. Get your week started right.
Yeah. Okay, so I had this conversation recently, and it was of an agent, and they were saying, what's your prediction? And what I'm seeing lately is, school just went back into session. It's so funny because agents that have not been in the business don't realize this happens every single year. Every single year, it's going to slow down when school goes back into session, right? Mm-hmm. And so people are like, oh my God, what's happening? Rates are high. Buyers are slowing down. No, it's just that time of year.
It's the season.
Yeah, it's a season, right?
Q4 is typically your slowest of the year.
Mm-hmm. The sun is going to go down at night and come up in the morning. That's a season. It's going to be like that, right? And so, I think within the next few months, we've had several conversations that agents are actually going to start thinking about, hey, how much value am I getting where I'm at,
Yeah, October, statistically speaking, is the slowest time, or it's the time when most agents switch brokerages. Isn't that interesting?
That's very interesting.
Because things are slowing down, and it kind of forces you to take a step back and look at your business from an outside perspective. Because when you're in it and you're just rolling and you're getting business and doing deals, it's hard to sit back and go, hey, things aren't going great. Mm-hmm. But whenever it's slowing down, you're like, well, what am I missing? And it really has people thinking, and there's changes happening, interesting stuff going on in the real estate, especially in our area.
Yes. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So, Realty Austin just got bought by Compass, which is interesting, and that took a lot of Realty Austin agents by surprise. Yeah. And they're pissed. A lot of them.
I called my friend with Compass yesterday, and she was like, I'm pissed. I just got that email this morning. We're going to have a call at 12, and she found out. I don't know what she's gonna do, but
And who knows what that looks like in the
might
long
be a good
term?
thing.
And it could
knows?
be just everyone's mad for nothing. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. But what I do know is it took a lot of people by surprise. And again, it kind of forces you to go, okay, if I'm with Realty Austin and I'm looking at Compass going, well, I don't want to be under this umbrella.
yeah.
Might be a time for a switch.
Yeah. Well, another thing is that Realty, if you don't know who Realty Austin is, it is a major brokerage here in Austin that is a local brokerage, right?
And if I'm not mistaken, they're kind of are like a luxury brand kind of deal. They do a lot of like waterfront properties. I see Realty Austin on like higher end listings. So I don't know if that's just coincidence, but from what I've heard, that's kind of the reputation that they have, is that they're more of a luxury kind of.
I've never heard anything bad about them. So
Yeah, me neither.
yeah, they're great. A lot of friends of mine that are with them, awesome people. Never heard anything bad. So
Yeah, hopefully that continues.
but I think that there's going to be a big shift soon, especially within the next few months, of agents really thinking, reconfiguring. Hey, maybe where I'm at isn't, giving me enough value. People aren't actually caring, and I'm just a number.
Yeah. Well, and it's the time to do this thinking. It's this hard conversation that you're faced with because you're setting yourself up for 2024 now.
Yeah.
We're in the home stretch here. We're about to be literal Q4 where things are slowing and you're going to have to get your pipeline for 2024 developed, and if you're not being supported or poured into, that's hard to do. It's much more difficult to do.
Yeah, I was talking to a broker yesterday and told him the same thing, and he was like, "You think that's gonna happen?" I said, "Yes." But also, elections are coming up, right? And so usually when elections happen,
Oh, election years, bro.
rates go down. Rates go down, right? So we got to prepare for that, right? So rates are going to go down. There's a lot of inventory. There's a lot of buyers that are ready to pounce.
There's pent up buyer energy.
Yes.
I think that's the mistake, is that people see this kind of correction happening and they go, oh, the bubble popped.
Yep.
Or this or that. No, that's not what's going on. What's actually happening is you have buyers waiting for the deals to come through or for rates to get better. Because here's the thing. There's also options. I got 200. First of all, before we get too far into this, let's take a step back.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk personal life real quick. Let's just talk about it. I just got back from Mexico, from Cancun. So awesome. We went to an all-inclusive. It was called Secrets Carmen del Playa, or Playa del Carmen, and it was incredible. It was about 30 minutes from the airport. My wife and I went for our baby moon. It happened to line up on my birthday as well, so knocked out a little 2-on-1 there. Super fun, super relaxing. I got my first massage ever. That was kind of
first one.
First one. I've never been to like a spa place or like never.
Have you ever eaten a hamburger?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Come on.
And what's funny is, like, I've been telling people like, oh yeah, like this massage is incredible, and they're like, what, is that your first one? I'm like, yes.
Wow.
And everyone's the same way. I'm getting roasted for my first massage, the coffee I drink. Bro, I posted a thing yesterday asking if people like their coffee iced or hot. And it was a Dutch Bros. And they were like, oh, you mean your milk?
Basically.
I mean, it's taken me a lot of time to develop the taste for coffee at all. So I'm pretty proud of where I'm at.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
We'll give
so
you that.
Y'all can get out my mentions. I understand. But yeah, so that was super awesome. We got back no problem. It was so needed. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since we've done something to like kind of treat ourselves and just not have any responsibility. You know what's crazy though? I got 200 contract while I was there. I was still working. And when business calls, you've got to show up for your clients. It doesn't matter if I'm on vacation. That's the kind of realtor I am. Yeah. I don't have business hours or office hours. I'm going to help my clients when they need me.
Yeah.
And here's the cool thing. We were just kind of talking about this, about rates, right?
Yeah.
People need to know both of these contracts that I just got were new build, and with the incentive that they were offering, my clients are getting a free 5.99 and a 5.5 and a 4.99 interest rate. Essentially for free.
Well, we've been preaching new builds for a while.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is new builds have more value, more perceived value, better warranties, And as compared to resales, you're getting more for your dollar.
Well, I mean, to buy down a rate to 4.99% on a resale side, I don't even know if you
It's like 30
can.
grand.
Yeah, it's crazy. So if you can get that for free with the new build, like that's a lot of value for your clients.
Yeah,
So if you have people in your pipeline that's sitting there going, I'm going to wait for XYZ to happen, and one of those letters is interest rates to go down, that's not an excuse anymore. There's opportunity out there.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to Vegas next week.
Yeah, we are. EXPCon, baby.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We're gonna be doing a lot of like little interviews with people there and just content. It's gonna be a blast. I'm so excited.
Our thing is we're constantly trying to surround ourselves with people that are doing more than us, and so we're gonna be in a central spot where a lot of agents are killing it. Right? We're just gonna surround ourselves with them. We're gonna ask them a bunch of questions. We're gonna get some content. So go follow us on Instagram so that you can see some of that content. And maybe we should do a podcast in Vegas. That would be cool.
That would be cool, like an audio only.
We'll
have to figure that out.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Some sad news in the entertainment industry.
What?
Not to bring everyone down, but Michael Gambon passed away today. He is best known for being the Hogwarts headmaster, Albus Dumbledore, in Harry Potter. He passed away.
I don't know who that is.
Oh my God, John.
Is it Dumbledore?
Yes.
Dumbledore. Is that the wizard?
We can move on.
Is that the wizard?
This is going
I know.
so poorly.
My wife loves
Oh my
Harry
God.
Potter.
This is
I actually
unbelievable.
here's one thing. I did ask my wife to, before we got married and engaged, I did ask my wife to be my girlfriend during a Harry Potter movie when she was falling asleep.
And now you don't even know who Dumbledore is.
I'm pretty
The
sure it's
wizard?
the wizard. The wizard, right?
Well, he's the headmaster.
The headmaster.
Yes, at Hogwarts. He's like the head guy.
Okay, what does that have to do with real estate?
I'm just saying. I'm sure a lot of realtors out there love Harry Potter. So, R.I.P. to a legend.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we get into real estate? Anything going on in your personal life that you're excited about, or?
I'm going to start 75 Hard again when we get back from Vegas. So that's going to be exciting. I sell the most houses when I'm on 75 Hard. If you don't know what 75 Hard is, it's a physical/mental program where you work out twice a day, once outside, drink a gallon of water, read 10 pages a day. And
2 45-minute workouts.
2 45-minute workouts. And
be on some kind of diet.
Some type of diet, yeah. And so I do really, it's funny. It's like, it's a mental thing. I just do really good in real estate when I'm on that program. So I'm going to do
Well, you're at your like peak kind of performance,
Yep.
right? Like
Yeah.
everything's good. You're eating clean.
Mm-hmm.
So your body's right. Your mind's right because you're investing in reading 10 pages a day. So you're educating yourself. You're keeping your mind active. So it's no coincidence that's whenever business people and entrepreneurs do really well.
Our guest speaker at Power Hour on Monday, this last Power Hour, he sold over $100 million in real estate. His name's Devin DeFino. He's in Arete, which is what my t-shirt is if you're watching on YouTube. And he was saying that the number one thing that top agents should be focusing on is their body and their physical health, because that starts everything, right? Like that's the foundation of everything, right? So
It's funny because like I don't look it, but I'm starting to get a little more focused on what I consume, because even on vacation I was like, I feel like a slug eating so poorly.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm back, like we're trying to replace like ice cream for protein ice cream, where like it's more healthy, it's less calorie dense, things like that. Just little things, because like that's something I can control. And if I'm not doing it, it's just simply laziness.
yeah.
And so just trying to kind of up my game there. And
Another thing is you get a little bit more authority when you look good. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like people take you more serious.
Absolutely.
Because you're disciplined, And so
I can't remember who it was. There's some guy on TikTok, and you may know who I'm talking about. He requires everyone in his company to have a 6-pack.
what?
Bro, I swear, I saw this thing where
Is it Andy Elliott?
I'm not 100% positive.
That's
I wish I
hilarious.
remembered the name, but I saw
You lost your 6-pack. Get out.
No, straight up. He like, there was this guy, and it was, I don't know if he was like applying or what the situation was, but in the video, he's like, take your shirt off. And he didn't have a 6-pack. He's like, you're not at my company.
Oh
like,
my God.
And then like instead of being butthurt about it, the guy worked his ass off, got a 6-pack, and now he works for him again, I think. I could be wrong on those details,
That's hilarious.
but pretty funny.
Mike Sherrod just texted me.
Mike, what's up, dog?
Sent you an email.
Excited to see you at EXPCon.
I know. That last event we went to was so fun.
Hey, speaking of, Tarek El Moussa is going to be there, which is pretty
really?
cool. I saw that. I think he's doing one of the breakout sessions, which is kind of cool. Yeah,
I'm excited.
You know how dope it would be to interview him?
We should.
If we had a chance.
Yeah, we should.
I'm sure he's going to get like a ton of attention there, but like if we could steal him for 2 minutes for an interview,
I'm sure we could.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Have Mike introduce us.
I'm excited to learn about AI and how we can implement it within our business, and that's one thing we'll teach you guys. As soon as we learn it, we're going to tell you guys about it too.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, the whole reason we're going, yes, it's in Vegas. I'm really excited for that. But
play some poker.
Yep. But this is a place where everyone is taking time to educate.
Yeah.
To learn, to better themselves, to get ahead of the curve, because we've been talking about AI on this podcast for a long time and how it's going to affect real estate. And I see it so prevalent now. I see people using AI for their headshots. I see people using AI to write their listing descriptions. And it's kind of funny because you can tell when they do it.
Yeah.
Because it has the same like formula, you know what I mean? Like the same sentence structure and all that. So it's pretty obvious there. I
just hate the unauthenticity. I don't like that at all.
Well, that was my whole concern. Like, I think if you go back to the episode where we talked about AI, I said I fear that people are going to lose the human element of what it is to be a realtor, and like a spelling error being not there anymore. You know, just little, as weird as that sounds.
It's just non-human. Like, just when it comes to like a personal person, I'd rather connect with somebody that has flaws, right? Because if they're perfect, they're not in my... like I don't want to be around.
Well, that's why video is so incredible, because no one's expecting you to be perfect when you're doing content, but they want to get to know the you behind the. Suman was talking about connection.
Yeah,
connection being one of the 3 C's of his secret sauce to his videos.
Yeah,
and if people don't connect with you, they'll take the information that you're offering, but they're going to go work with someone who they do connect with.
Yeah, that's
true. So that's such a big one. So,
how do we connect more with people? Like, not only with video, but in personal relationships.
Yeah. Well, I think right now, you've got to have conversations that are not sales targeted.
Ooh, that's so true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every single time I get a phone call, I get so mad because I get one, like I've been getting a ton of recruiting calls for some reason. And because, again, it's the slow time of the season.
Yep.
Brokerages are out there. You're probably going to get calls asking to switch over. That's not our style, but some people make a career that way. And they call me, and they try to like butter you up with like one question. Hey, man, how's your day going? And then it's immediately, so I'm with blah, 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 and I want you to, do you have some time next week to meet with us about what we can offer you in your real estate career? I'm like, did you just call me like for a sales pitch and pretend to give a fuck about what I'm doing? Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm so over it. We see it all the time.
Yeah.
And I think the people who are, we use this phrase all the time, double down on your relationships. Yeah. Form genuine relationships. I check in with my clients post-closing, pre-close, like every all the time.
Yeah.
Because I care about them.
Yeah.
And I care about where they're at. So
that reminds me, I have some clients that I closed on a house last month, and I need to check up on them again.
And your CRM is a great way to stay on top of that.
It is. Yeah.
Some agents that are listening are probably like, well, how do I keep track of who I need to touch base with? Your CRM most likely has some form of a reminder that you can set, like every 3 months, every 6 months, post-closing, and then you can make notes in there about, like, do they have kids? Do they have a dog? Like, things you can ask about and be genuine about it.
Yeah.
Because we're all over the sales crap.
I know, man. It's crazy. And that's, for me, I do a lot of events and Facebook and social media and TikTok and all the things. But when it comes to in-person conversation, I'm not really talking about real estate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and if you want to talk about it, like if you want to bring it up, I'll talk about it with you. But I'm not going to be the person where you go to your friends and go, Man, I don't like being around Jordan. All he does is
All
talk
he
about
does-
real estate.
All he talks about is real estate.
Every time, like, I'm going up asking him how his family is, and he somehow just pivoted into if I'm planning to sell in the next 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Real estate news.
Real
We
estate.
got a big one.
Oh,
we got
we
a
do.
big topic to get into on this one. Before we do, anything else you want to talk about before we dive into this lawsuit?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, let's get into it. So there's been, I mean, this went kind of like broke the realtor internet, right? Like I kept seeing it everywhere about RE/MAX having a $55 million settlement thrown out for a lawsuit. So I looked into it, kind of, by no means am I saying I am the breaking news reporter for this here. I need you to go do your own research on this. But I'm going to give you the gist of what I found out. So a couple things happen, and they're not related. In some MLSs, they approved it to where now you can vote, or they made it to where instead of offering $1 as a minimum payment towards buyer agents, you can offer $0.
Wow.
And for some people, they're thinking that means that you don't pay buyer's agents, or like they're making it to where you don't pay buyer's agents. $1 to $0 is nothing. You could go full asshole and offer $1 before. Now it's just you can full commit and do 0. That's the only difference. Yeah. It doesn't change anything as far as like just now you can put a 0 instead of a 1.
I did go to a listing recently, and they in the description, this commission part, they said to add your commission on top of the price. And that was a little
interesting.
I was like, ugh.
50 grand over.
Because now my client, right? That's true. Because now my clients are like, I mean, we see 268. Like, how much do you want in commission? Now it puts it on me.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I feel bad.
Got to have like this nasty conversation.
Yeah. And I told them, I said, this happens once every 500 houses.
Yeah,
like,
it's not typical.
Not typical. And they didn't like the house, but it's just annoying that now we've got to, I mean, I don't know. Is that
things are
annoying?
changing. I feel like I've never run into this myself either.
Mm-hmm.
This thing about this lawsuit that we're about to get into is something that I don't foresee, and I'm going to preface this, but we're going to kind of dive into what the worst case scenario and then like maybe what I think is going to actually happen, which is nothing. I don't think anything is going to come of this. So
I mean, we pay so much in dues for NAR and all that. Like, why aren't they fighting for us?
Well, they're involved. So it's Keller Williams, RE/MAX, NAR, and a few other parties are fighting in court against a disgruntled group of sellers. So basically what happened is this group of sellers have come together to sue these companies for feeling like they were forced to pay a buyer's agent commission. Here's what actually happened. And this is where, like, if you don't do your research, like, I see so many people in the mastermind groups or just online talking about this out of their ass, and they have no understanding of what actually happened. Here's what actually happened. These sellers hired and agreed to pay these realtors, whatever it was, 5-6%, whatever it is. What they didn't understand and what wasn't explained to them by these people is when you do this and you're agreeing to pay this listing agent, you're agreeing to pay that person to sell the house however they see it fit. Whether that's offering 2%, 1%, 3%, whatever it is, to the buyer's agent. And they get to keep however much as well, right?
Well, I mean, it's in the listing agreement that you keep. It clearly lays out how much the listing agent is going to make, and then also how much they're going to be giving the buyer's agent.
It doesn't, though.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty certain. Because you put in there what your total commission is. And then I think you decide how much is going. I've never once put that I'm going to split it. But I do.
Let's
check me on this. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, good. Keep going.
So nonetheless, they hired these people to sell their homes. They agreed to it. They signed the contract. They got it sold. After the fact, they go, well, why did I just pay the buyer's agent to negotiate against me on a house that I hired this person to sell me? So from that perspective, if it's not explained properly, I can kinda understand. But this doesn't scream lawsuit to me. It screams poor education provided by that listing agent.
Yep.
So this $55 million offer for a settlement by RE/MAX is only because they think that the damage of the lawsuit could be greater. It's not because they think they're guilty. They don't think they did anything wrong. It's not like an admission of guilt that they're offering the settlement, but they say, hey, like if we can squash this for $55 million, that's less than the perceived damage that's going to happen to our reputation, our brand, and whatever.
Yeah. So paragraph.
Okay. Yes, you do. Okay. Yeah. I have it pre-filled. My bad.
Okay. No worries.
So I just don't remember hitting, but yes, you put on there like how much you're going to give to each person, but then you also say how much your total commission is as well.
Yeah.
So you could, as the listing agent, put on there that you're going to keep 4%, you're going to offer 2% to the buyer's agent. But within whatever you're agreeing upon, there's some kind of split that's happening there.
Yeah. I think the big argument is, okay, I'm a seller. I'm paying you, the listing agent, and then I'm also paying the buyer's agent. But the buyer is negotiating against me, and I'm still having to pay him.
Correct.
And I mean, there is some argument there, but how do you get around that? You know?
Yeah, because here's the flip side of this. Here's the worst case that I think can happen. And I am borrowing a little bit of this structure from Ricky Carruth, whose video I watched on this. It's a fantastic explanation. Probably much better than I'm doing right now. Ricky's a beast. The worst case that can happen is they win this case, and they being the sellers, and it forces some kind of litigation to make it to where buyers' agents are not paid by sellers. Think of what that's going to do. And some people that I've seen online think that's a huge win for their seller clients. No, it's not. Here's why. You're going to have buyers who can not afford to pay for representation come to you, and you are going to be now double-siding this transaction for the same 3%. Think about that. That's something you're not thinking about if you think this is a good idea. Someone has to help these buyers, and it's going to be you if they're not represented. And that, or you're getting poorly educated buyers who the transaction goes haywire. Yeah. I don't see that as a win. I think you have to pay to bring qualified, educated buyers who are motivated to close.
Imagine the amount of lawsuits buyers are going to... I didn't know I was supposed to do that. Well, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. You know,
opens you up for a lot of extra shit that I think people aren't realizing.
I think there's another option. The awesome thing about real estate is there are some creative people that will figure it out, right? Another option might be lender gives some type of credit for the buyer's agent.
Oh, I'm sure if that ended up happening, there's some kind of program that'll come up to help offset it or like build it into the loan or whatever it is.
Yeah, a built-in loan, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like I actually get paid by the lender.
But I think things are so...
That opens it up to, okay, which lender do we use? You know?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I think it does more damage than good if that goes through.
Yeah.
What I think is actually going to happen is nothing. I think things will continue as normal. I think this is a huge nothing burger that people are arguing about online because they're bored and twiddling their thumbs and they have nothing else going on in their business.
Well, NAR better freaking do something because we pay them literally millions and millions and millions of dollars, and I don't even get a thank you.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, well, that's a shared sentiment by a lot of people. A lot of people are very upset with the lack of, and it's like, oh, well, you get advertising. I don't get advertising. You're advertising NAR.
Yeah,
NAR advertises NAR. That's it.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
We better stop before
we
get canceled by NAR.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not mad at them. I just want them to do something.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like this is the perfect opportunity for you to step up and go, hey, this is not a buyer agent problem. Yeah. Like this is a time where they need to step up and go to the defense of agents and say, I understand that you're mad. It sounds like you weren't educated properly by your listing agent. You need to be mad at them, not realtors in general. Yeah. You know?
I think there was like a particular case and that just made it blow up.
Well, it was like that person was mad and then they heard this person was, and like they just all teamed up and they're like, we're just going to collectively sue these companies. Yep. So if anything, if you take anything from this jumbled mess of details that you need to go research yourself, it's your job as a realtor is to educate your clients. You have a fiduciary responsibility to have them be thoroughly educated. I think a lot of people cut corners, which is really unfortunate. It's part of why we have such a bad reputation as an industry and as a career. I've interacted with people on X or Twitter or whatever, online, YouTube. There's a lot of realtor hate out there. And I'm not mad at them for having that negative perception, because I think they've dealt with really bad realtors.
I mean, I've known of agents that will sell a house just to sell a house. You know, they're not selling a house and pointing out the defects of the house, you know, or pointing out like better ways that the buyer could purchase the house, you know.
Yeah. Well, one of my prides as a realtor is that I'm very thorough. I'm going to make sure I answer every question you have. I'm going to teach you about things you probably didn't know before. And whether that is information overload, that's to be debated. But I'd rather have a really happy, thoroughly educated client who I'm now not going to have any surprises pop up, right?
Yeah.
And the client experience is so much better. I was that way at AT&T, and any career I had, I over-explain so that you feel good about the purchase or the sell or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. So you got 2 houses under contract recently.
Yes.
That's awesome. How do you feel about that?
In one weekend, it was nice. Much
Nice.
needed. Like I said, we got a little guy coming in November. I'm just watching the calendar blow by. I can't believe we're already almost in October.
That's crazy.
I remember when Katie told me she was pregnant. That feels like it was yesterday. And now I'm about to have a kid at my house, which is just insane.
That's crazy, yeah. So my personal business, I'm not going to lie, slowing down a little bit. I took pretty much a month-long vacation, and so I was not lead generating, and that's on me. But one thing I am really talented is manifesting deals. So like as soon as I put my boots on the ground and get ready, like I'll literally be like, I'm going to put 10 deals under contract. Like, I will do it.
We've talked before where you write all your goals down, and it's like just manifesting, seeing it every day, like whether it's on your phone, like in a note, or like on your mirror, you write down what your goal is. So that reminder will prompt action in you that you may not have had otherwise. Yeah. So if you find yourself kind of stagnant in your business, maybe write your goal. Like, you need to write your goal down. Yeah. You can't just be like, I want to get a house. It's like, I want to have one house under contract that's $300,000 to $400,000 by the end of the, or whatever your market price is. You know what I mean. Yeah. But whatever your target is, I want to have this under contract by October 31st. Yeah. And then you're gonna start like,
go ahead.
You're gonna start seeing that and going, oh, I need to do something to make this happen. It's not just this thought in my head. It's like, I actually want to achieve this. Yeah. So anyway,
I've done it multiple times where I'll sit down with my assistant Deidre, and I'll say, we've got to put 10 under contract within the next certain amount of time, and she's like, all right, let's do it. So then we just sit down, put a plan together, and get it done.
Well, because then it prompts, now what?
Yep.
If you don't ever have the goal like solidified and tangible, it just stays this thing that you're chasing with no action. Yeah. But once you're like, I want to do this. It's like, now how? Mm-hmm. I know I need to talk to more people. What does that look like? Yeah. What kind of event can I go to? What kind of networking can I do? How many of my people on my contacts list are potential buyers or sellers? You start having these conversations and opportunities open up. So it's no coincidence that when you set the goal, you take action towards it.
Exactly.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. I had a conversation recently, and it was they were not an agent yet, and they texted me and said, hey, how do I become a real estate agent? And then I let them know, hey, get your license first. It's about 180 hours in Texas, and then you definitely need to find a mentor. Well, the conversation went into, do you think it's actually a good decision to get into real estate right now, with the market and everything? Good question. What's your opinion on that?
Great question. I think it's if you're a hustler. Mm-hmm. The best time you can get into it, if you're an entrepreneur spirit, was yesterday. Like, you just got to get started. Yeah. I don't know that you're gonna see some opportunity. Like, if you're waiting for some clear sign, like, oh, this is the time, it doesn't happen. There's opportunities and there's struggles in every market.
Yeah. You just got to prepare to take massive action and then not get a result for 5 to 6 months and not be disappointed. Right?
Which isn't everyone's experience. I've talked to a realtor in Leander here recently, and she just closed on her first one. I think she's like 2 months, 1 month licensed. Yeah. So it can happen, and she's got a nice pipeline going.
I'm just giving expectations.
Oh, for sure.
You know
that's the atypical experience.
Was that Lauren?
Yeah, I think so.
Very nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I believe so. Or Laura, I think.
Very
just
cool.
talk to her. Laura. Yep.
What's her last name? Starts with a S?
Starts with a H.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you got to have proper expectation set that you're not going to get, because even when you get one under contract, like if it's a new build, that could take 7 months to complete, and you don't get paid until it closes.
So you got to keep looking.
So you got to keep going.
Yep.
Have good expectation set, because a lot of people, they just expect business is going to flock to you. We preach it.
Well, he was saying, all I said, the name of the game is marketing, advertising, and building your networks. And he was like, well, all the people that I know, you know. And I'm like, yeah, that's true.
And I'm going to sell them a house while you watch.
I know, right?
Yeah, you got to have good expectations, because one thing you have to realize, this is a really saturated industry. There's tons of agents fighting for this business. I mean, I look at if I had the mentality that every person I knew was going to work with me, I'd be out of the business already, because you have to find people who don't know you that want to work with you, because you're going to run through that group of people very quickly.
Very quickly.
And then you got to maintain it, and you got to grow, and they got to become part of your fan base and your network. And don't feel bad. We see this a lot on the Facebook groups, is my sister didn't use me as a real estate agent, and what do I do? How do I treat her? And it's like, man, a lot of people, that happens to a lot of people. You're expecting a best friend of yours to use you as a realtor, and unfortunately they don't use you, and you're like, dang. I mean, there's people like in my hockey group that I thought, like, for sure, like I'm like one of the only realtors within the hockey group. I've got this business on lock, right? I know their families, I've seen their kids, I've done all this, and they don't use me. Yeah. And it's like, it's nothing personal. I look at that as an opportunity to go, how could I have made that relationship better?
Exactly.
To where they would have used me.
Yep.
Like, I assumed I was on this level, and I'm apparently not.
Yep.
So how do I increase my stature with them, so maybe next time they do use me?
100%. So if they do use you, what happens? What's the first step?
Well, the big thing is getting leads, right?
Yes.
We talk about getting leads all the time, and it's, what do you do with the lead?
Yes.
And
so a lead comes in. What do you do?
Well, you got to get them on the phone.
Ooh.
You got to have that conversation. We talk about all the time about the levels of communication.
Can you text them?
You can, if phone call's not available and in person isn't available.
Can you email them?
I wouldn't, but you can.
Okay.
Can you? Yes. Should you? Probably not. That shouldn't be your preferred communication method.
And so what should you do?
Call. Immediately. Ask them for a phone number to call, or give them your phone number.
Immediately. So, like, how deep into the conversation until you ask to get on the phone?
Well, if you do it the John Michael way, it's the first response.
Yep.
People say, hey, we've been thinking about selling our house. Do you have some time to talk? Boom, phone number.
What's your phone number? That's it. First question.
You ain't got I'm so guilty of this that when a lead comes in, I'm like, oh, thank you so much for reaching out. I'm excited to help you. Yes, blah, 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 blah. Cut that shit out. Give them the phone number, get their phone number, and get on the phone.
We found that you close deals faster, or you close that relationship, or you create that relationship faster if you humanize by either voice or video or in person, right? And so that can be a Zoom as well.
Or like a FaceTime.
The quicker you humanize that connection, the quicker you will create that relationship so that you can be their agent.
And that's a real important distinction, because if you're just texting or emailing, there's no draw. Mm-hmm. It feels like I'm chatting with a bot, or like an AI chat assistant or something. Yeah. So when they can physically see, and they see like I'm engaged, and I'm like responding with my head, like yes, no, like my eyebrow, everything's engaged to their conversation. Now they feel like they know me a lot better, and I have a better chance of converting that lead into an active client.
Yep, exactly. You did a really good job. I was listening when you were on the phone with a listing lead recently, right? That one went really well, huh?
Yeah, we got a follow-up tomorrow. Hopefully that one's going live next week. We'll see.
Very nice.
Kind of a fluid situation. But yeah, you know what's funny? A lot of people are moving to Tennessee. I've noticed. Like, this is the second person in a week that is moving from Texas to Tennessee. I don't blame him after I'm talking to him, because it's like he's getting like a 3,000 square foot house for like $310,000. It sits on like 4 acres, and their property taxes are like $2,000.
Jeez.
And
crazy.
in my head, I was like, oh, well, Tennessee must be a state tax, like a state income tax state. No, they're not. So I don't know how they're making money as a state, or like the counties or anything. But man, what an appealing offer. And
awesome.
Some of the places they're moving to remind me of Leander, where it's like 30 to 40 minutes north of like a major metro area like Austin.
Yeah.
You know, Nashville has Clarksville, which is north of there, or within 30 to 40 minutes of there. Really popular area right now. So who knows? Could be a new trend. Maybe your people are sick and tired of paying $1,200+ in taxes per month.
Yeah, I know. Hey, would you say you're on a momentum streak right now?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I don't really. The magical thing about being consistent is at times you feel like nothing's happening. Mm-hmm. And then as long as you continue to push through and you do the right steps.
Even though you're not seeing anything immediately.
Correct. It pays off.
Yeah.
Because the people that I'm helping right now, I've been consistent in communication and staying on top of when it's right for them. And it just so happened that those times align. It's not like I put a video out and they were like, oh, I'm buying right now with Jordan.
Yeah.
It's just like I did it for so long and kept them informed about what's going on in the market for so long that I earned their trust. And so when they were ready, I got the business.
Yeah. And like 2 months ago, you were like, where's my next transaction coming from?
100%. Yeah. So now I'm excited, because now I've got closings for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
I've got closings lined up, and
Yeah.
then I know what my next year is going to be, and I've got buyers in the pipeline.
Yep.
We're feeling good, baby.
Yeah.
We're feeling good.
I got a lot of pipeline stuff. Nothing, we've got a couple under contract, but man, I need to get that thing going, bro. I'm going to.
And it always works out. We always go through these
I know.
phases and that's the roller coaster of real estate. Is you had like a 7-month or a 7-deal month,
Twice in a row.
like you were at the
7, 8,
high, right?
Yeah.
And then now you're like, okay, I don't have anything like set, but I know, again, if I'm consistent and I do these things, and you're aware, you told yourself, I saw that I took a month off and now I'm ready to grind again. And you're going to get things going, because that's just how shit goes.
Yeah. As a real estate agent, you got to be aware of those ups and downs, And I will say I'm more focused on, we've been growing our team like crazy. Like one agent per day is pretty much joining us. And it's pretty crazy. I've been focusing a lot on that recently. But it's hard to balance that, like balance production plus, hey, we're growing our team, So,
Yeah, if you haven't listened to the previous episode to this one, to kind of summarize, we are now with the Wolfpack at EXP, which offers exclusively when you work with us, you get a proprietary training put on by one of the most badass people of agent training there's ever been, from Mike Sherrard. He's got,
YouTube ads, TikTok ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube and Instagram, Accelerator, Chat GPT, 5 Mastermind calls a week. Like, it's like
there's all this value to be had that people are searching for that they don't know they're missing.
And
that's the crazy part about this, is when you join a brokerage, they're like, oh, we have training. What does that training look like? Everything else that every other broker offers.
We're gonna cold call. We're gonna door knock.
Or like it's just basic shit.
Yeah.
It's not the actual tactical stuff that you're looking for, which is how to grow your social media presence, how to do how to be like the online agent, which is so needed in these times. Mm-hmm. If you haven't been in the business for 20+ years and you have your big referral network built up and all this, to be competitive in this market, you have got to be online. And the only way to get good at that is either trial and error, which is great. You need to do that. Or you take advantage of the training that we have access to give you and shorten that timeline of what it takes to get there.
Yeah, that's our pitch. If you guys want to work with us on a more personal level, please let us know. We're here for you. And that doesn't mean we're
And this isn't like a hard sell or something. It's just we truly believe in this stuff. It's why we joined, because it's so valuable. John and I really considered starting our own brokerage, and we looked at it and said, well, we have to make these courses that are relevant to today's agents. And when we looked at this Wolfpack offering and training, it's already there.
Yeah.
We don't have to reinvent the wheel.
It's pretty awesome.
And
there's so many agents joining.
Yeah. It's amazing. And it's cool. Like, we want to be able to, and even if you don't join the Wolfpack, even if you don't, Power Hour is awesome as well. It's just part of the value add that we're putting out there, because we want to work with people whether you're with us or not, and help invest in better realtors. Yep. That's what we're all about. That's why we started the podcast. That has stayed true since day one. Yep.
Okay. What was the last thing we want to talk about?
To expand a little bit real quick upon leads, because we were talking about that. There's a thing that happens when you get a lead, especially if you don't know this person, where you get all excited, you get ready for the meeting, you're putting together your presentation or whatever. You show up and you just got ghosted. Your person didn't show up, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's unavoidable. Most times you can fix that. And the way that you do that is you follow up.
Yep.
So the way I do this is when I get a lead and I'm on the phone with them and I'm talking about what the next step is, right? Hey, do you want to meet in person? Can I meet at your house? Do you want to grab a coffee? What does that look like? I need to get you in person as soon as possible.
Yep. So important.
And so whatever that appointment looks like, I set it in my calendar while I'm on the phone with them. I say, great, I'm adding that to my calendar right now. You heard me do that with the listing one. And it's so important because we get so distracted so easily. There's a lot of distractions out there that you may forget the moment you hang up, and then that thought never comes back.
Yeah.
And then you might blow the appointment, right?
Yeah.
But to prevent your client or potential prospect from blowing off your appointment, you have a job to do, and that's follow up.
100%.
So I put a reminder, 1 day before or 2 days before. I don't know what your calendar app is, but the basic one, the automatic one that comes on the iPhone, has a really great option where you can put alert. And I do 1 day and I do 2 days before, or a time of event or whatever it is to remind myself.
Yeah.
No less or no later than 1 day before, I'm going to send them a message and say, hey, it was great talking with you. I'm super excited to meet with you on blah, blah, blah at this time, at this place. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I just sent them a reminder, and it lowers the chances that they're going to blow me off.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to take all this time to prep, I want to make sure they're there.
100%.
I don't want to just spin my wheels.
You always got to send reminders. Another thing is if there's agents not agents, if there's clients that find you online and you already have a scheduled Calendly link, that's something that I've been doing a lot. Honestly, I feel like sending your Calendly link is a little rude if it's just like somebody you already know.
That's such I hate that move. Someone did it to me recently, did it to us recently. Yeah. They reached out and were like, hey, can we hop on a call? And I said, sure. When are you available? And they sent me a Calendly. I was like, bro, you just reached out to me to send me a Calendly? Like, okay.
Yeah, I know. But when it comes to like having a Calendly link on your website or YouTube channel or Instagram, like that's cool because these people don't know you or they don't have your personal phone number, But if it's like somebody I know, don't do that, please.
It's cool because you can also do like, for example, with us, we can have a Calendly where we say like, what kind of call are you wanting to get into? Do you want to talk to John, to me, to both of us?
Yeah.
Like, really cool option. So if you're trying to attract people online, which you should be, because that's where a lot of people are. It's where buyers are these days. Buyers, sellers, everyone. You should have some way for them to get a hold of you. Mm-hmm. I use Linktree. Linktree is incredible. There's not just that website, but there's a lot more. If you're unfamiliar with what that does, it takes all these different things about your business. Like I have my website on there, my YouTube channel, my TikTok. I have a buyer's guide on there I can direct you to. I've got a things to do in Austin PDF that it can take you to. It's got my contact info all in one link. So I can put that in my Instagram bio, my TikTok bio, online, wherever it is, my YouTube, and they have access to all my channels. They have all these different ways to get a hold of me or to follow me and get involved in what I have going on.
Dude, there's so many people calling me right now. I'm like, oh, okay. You want to close this out because I got so much going on.
Let's do it. Hey guys, if you found any value in this episode here today, I hope you did. Give us a share. Share it with another agent. I know you know other agents who are either struggling or looking to elevate their business. Send them a link to our episode or to any of your favorite episodes, our homepage, whatever. And we want to connect with you. Whatever social media you're on, we're probably there as well.
Yeah.
So reach out.
We're big on Instagram though.
Instagram's like the main one.
Yeah.
So if you're not there, I don't know. Sorry. You can probably find us somewhere else, but
yeah, well, go to our Power Hour every Monday, 11 a.m. We're giving out tons of value. It's completely free. It's a little more high level than this, but also, you know, it's more one-on-one. We're gonna have Q&A at the end if we have time, and we have a lot of top producer guests that are on there just sharing, literally sharing. There's nothing hidden. It's super exciting, and you know, there's tons of people that were sharing screenshots of the last Power Hour, and that lets me know like they're enjoying it and there's a lot of value in there.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to create a culture of providing value.
Collaboration over competition.
Yeah.
And if you're in our community, we care. We care a lot. Like, we genuinely care. You're not just a number. So please show up.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Y'all go be great in your local markets. Make sure you give us a follow at Jordan Sells ATX. John, where can they find you, buddy?
At John Michael Perez.
Go be great in your local markets. We'll see you in the next one.